Okay, so today we're going to be changing the oil on my 2021 Tacoma. I change the oil every 5,000 miles. I suggest you do the same. Here are the tools we're going to need. You're going to need a oil filter wrench for the right car, obviously, for the right vehicle. 12 millimeter, 14 millimeter socket, 3/8 drive ratchet, a couple of extensions. You definitely need a torque wrench, an old screwdriver, and a pair of pliers and some type of pliers. This is the oil that I prefer. This is the one I use in my truck. So after I let it run, let the truck run for a little while, to let the oil warm up, I'm gonna go inside and unlatch the hood. Hood latch is on the bottom left of the dashboard, right next to your left leg, basically. This bullet that releases the main latch. Then there's a secondary latch or a safety latch. You gotta kind of reach underneath, try and find it, release it, and then pick up the hood and use the prop rod to hold the hood up. Next, you want to take the cap off, the oil fill cap, just to let air in the crankcase. When you're draining it, it'll drain the oil quicker. The cap also tells you what type of oil to use. This one takes 0W20, full synthetic. But put the cap aside somewhere so it's not going to get lost or fall into the engine compartment. All right, so now it's time to get the truck in the air so we can work underneath it. I use steel ramps. Nowadays, most people use plastic ones. Doesn't matter. So you put the steel ramp nice and straight in front of the front wheels. Then drive the truck onto the ramps carefully. That'll give you plenty of clearance to do an oil change. I usually like to throw a couple of blocks or a couple of pieces of wood behind the rear tire just in case. The rear wheels are locked, the truck is in park, and the emergency brake is on. So the rear wheels can't spin anyway, but just to be on the safe side. I use an old blanket, folded up old blanket, and an old cushion from a outdoor chair or chaise lounge actually that we had. I saved the cushion. That's all I need. I don't need it to be any more comfortable to change oil. If you want to use a creeper, you can. Creeper is just a mechanic's cart that they lay on with wheels so they can roll themselves underneath the vehicle. You notice my truck was recently undercoated with New Hampshire undercoating. It's oil. It's an oil wax combination. It's great stuff. I like it. Protects your frame and your undercarriage of your truck. The only problem is every time you need to work on the truck, it does get a little messy. Your hands are going to be all black, and your clothes are going to get pretty dirty. So that's the only drawback to it. But it's worth it in the long run. It'll save your truck. It'll hopefully uh, make your truck last longer, especially if you live in the salt belt like we do here in New England. They use a lot of salt on the roads. So the first thing you gotta do is take the brush guard or the skid plate or shield, whatever you want to call it, out from behind the front bumper. There's 4 bolts, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. I took one of the back ones off and left the other one. Then I take the 2 front ones out completely. The 2 front ones, you can take them out completely because the front of the splash shield has hooks on it that hold on to the framing of the truck. So then you take the 2 back ones, the second back one off completely. You kind of let it hang down. You kind of have to lift up and push forward to release it from the hook in the front. And you're all set. Just put it aside. Once you take that plate off, you'll see the oil filter right there. That's it right there, the oil filter. And then just a few feet away, you'll see the bottom drain pan, oil drain pan with the drain plug on it. So you're going to position your oil pan, whatever you're going to use to catch the oil, the old oil. I just use a plastic pan. Next, we're going to remove that plug, that 14 millimeter nut. Like I said, my truck was undercoated, so oil film undercoating. So I like to clean everything around whenever I'm working, so we don't make a big mess. They did a good job. They didn't get too much on the oil pan. All right, so next you're going to use a 14 millimeter to get that drain plug off. You notice I'm doing this one-handed. Of course, you wouldn't do this with one hand. Use two hands, but I'm trying to hold the camera and take the bolt off at the same time. Now, when you go to take the drain plug out, just be careful. Don't put your hand directly underneath there. Got to put it like upside down to the side because the oil is pretty hot still. You notice the oil comes out of there pretty quickly now. You also notice that the crush washer from the drain plug stayed behind. It always, for some reason, gets stuck on the oil pan. You can see it there. So what I did was I just get a screwdriver, put it like I put the edge of the screwdriver up against the washer, and I just tap it, and it pops right off the bottom of the oil pan. Cleaned up the oil plug, drain plug. Got a new crush washer at Toyota. I would recommend you do the same. Always put a new crush washer. Don't use the old washer because it could leak. Put a new crush washer. Make sure you torque it to the right spec. I also buy the filter at the dealer too. I don't trust aftermarket oil filters when it comes to cartridge type oil filters. I rather have OEM. So now I'm putting the drain plug back in. Don't forget to take the old washer that's going to get stuck on the pan. Don't forget to knock it off with a screwdriver. Torque this to 30 foot-pounds. Make sure you use a torque wrench. Don't go by feel. Especially when we get to the plastic housing on the oil filter. It's critical that you torque things properly. So the first thing you do is take this drain plug off the bottom of the oil filter housing. You take it off with a 3/8 3/8 extension. It fits right onto a 3. It's got a 3/8 square drive on the end of it. The new filter comes with this little plastic tool that you pop on the bottom of the oil filter housing to drain the oil that's in the housing out. It's kind of a pain in the neck. It kind of makes a mess, but it does work. Once you're done, you're going to have to pop that off with a pair of pliers because you can't take it off with your hands. Then you can use your oil filter wrench. Make sure you put it on properly. It does have a certain position it has to sit in. You'll see it slides in. These tend to be tough to get off. That's why there's no need to over tighten anything. This was tightened to spec by me, and it was still pretty tight to get off. So don't over tighten things. It's worse. You'll never get it off. Just loosen it up as much as you can with the wrench, and then just take the rest off by hand. Make sure you get the right wrench for the filter housing. I got mine online. It was inexpensive, relatively inexpensive, and it works fine. It's not a high-quality tool, but I don't do this for a living. It's good enough for me. Now I've taken the old filter and filter housing out. You can see the old filter in there. Pull it out, throw it in the trash. There you see the new filter with the 2 O-rings it comes with. I clean up the housing inside and out. Drop the new oil filter in there. But before you do that, probably better off just taking the old O-ring off. I use a small screwdriver, like a thermostat screwdriver, just pop it right off. You could throw that in the trash, that's no good. The bottom also has an O-ring, a smaller O-ring for the drain plug. I usually put it on after. You can put it on first by hand if you want to. Just pop the new filter cartridge in. Take the bigger of the 2 O-rings, and this is critical. You must lubricate the O-rings. You never put an O-ring on when it's dry, because the dry rubber, when you go to turn it on, could roll out. You could break it, crack it, roll it out of position. Make sure you lube it up. So get a little bit of oil. Doesn't matter if it's old or new. Dab it with your fingertips and just run your fingers around the O-ring. Make sure you lube everything up good when it comes to rubber O-rings. There is a track that the O-ring fits in. Again, make sure that's all lubed up good. The bottom, I put it on after. I guess you could put it on now if you want to put the O-ring in there and put the cover on. Just hand tighten and tighten it up after. I just put it on after. It doesn't bother me. Either way, it doesn't matter. There's where the O-ring, the small O-ring goes. You lube it up and then you put it in there. Like I said, I do it after. You can do it now, though. Okay, so now I just screw the the filter housing with the new filter in it. Now I did have some issues with my camera here, so I'm not able to show you how I torqued everything up. But torque the filter housing, the plastic filter housing, to 18 foot-pounds, and torque the metal drain plug to 10 foot-pounds. Don't over torque things; you won't get them off after. The next time it'll be really, really difficult to get off. You might even have to break it to get it off. So use a torque wrench. Don't guess. If you don't have a torque wrench, go buy one. They're not that expensive. Craftsman makes a decent one. That's what I use. All right. So after I'm all done with that, then I put my 5 quarts in. This truck takes about 6.5 quarts. So I put the 5 quarts and I added another quart. Pulled out the dipstick and checked it. Just pull the yellow-handed dipstick out. Check to make sure that the oil level is in between the range. Some dipsticks have hash marks, so as long as you're on the hash marks, it's good. Mine has 2 little bumps on it, 2 little dots. The camera wouldn't focus here, so I couldn't show it to you. But there are 2 dots. One there, that's the high, and that's the low. So as long as in between the high and the low, it's perfectly fine. You can run the engine, no problem. So I ended up adding about 1.5 quarts after I added the 5 quarts. So this truck takes about 6.5 quarts. Don't overfill oil, it's bad. So you're better off in between the hash mark or in between the dots rather than overfilling it. That's bad. So after we're all done filling everything up, then we start the engine, let the engine run for a couple minutes. We crawl back underneath and we check for leaks. Check the plug, check the filter, all the sides, the drain plug on the filter, all sides, all around. Make sure there's no leaks anywhere. Everything looks good. So I just put the pan back on, and I'm all done. Job's done. Wait, ready for another 5,000 miles. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me out. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.